Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. Sequel to the statement made by a human rights lawyer in the person of Femi Falana, a senior advocate of Nigeria, who is also from the Southwest, against the eviction notice issued by Sunday Igboho to the Fulanis that are staying in Iganga, Ibaraba local government area of Oyo State. Most Yoruba people are right now angry with him for taking side with the Fulani despite chronicle of negative activities that have taken place in the state, which is traceable to the Fulani people. They are not happy with Femi Falana because Femi Falana said that they should, the Fulanis should seek legal redress and should take Igboho to court. That they should defend their constitutional right. And he went on to say that as long as you stay in a place for 10 years, you have the legal right to stay there. But despite all of this, he has said, I could still remember that Igboho was not actually fighting all the Fulanis. His target was actually the killer Fulanis. But Femi Falana came up and said something that triggered so much anger among the Yorubas. And we're going to look at that in a jiffy because a particular group has decided to respond to him and they are ready for a showdown. And according to the news, a coalition of Yoruba group, Ibimo Apapa Yoruba Lagbaye, says it is unhappy with opposition of Femi Falana, a human rights lawyer, to the eviction notice issued by Sunday Igboho, a youth leader popularly known as Sunday Igboho, to headers in Oyo State. While speaking on a BBC program on Wednesday, Falana said the headers who had lived in the area for 10 years had the constitutional right to remain there and that no one has the right under the law to issue eviction notice to any ethnic group. Falana also called on affected headers to sue Igboho and defend their constitutional right. But in a statement signed by Are Oladotun Hassan, the Yoruba group President, and Sinyambade Adekonbi, its Secretary General IAYL, said Falana ignored the atrocities perpetuated by headers in Oyo State and other parts of the country while concentrating on the rights of the headers. It said if Igboho was taken to court, it would raise 100 senior advocates of Nigeria and other prominent lawyers to defend the youth leader and Yoruba interests in court. The statement said, and I quote, it said, today it is crystal clear to the blind on the current position we find ourselves in Nigeria, whereas government have failed in its statutory duty to provide adequate security for her people, hence self-defense become inevitable solution. We are disappointed to see Mr. Falana clandestine call for fundamental right legal attrition against Sunday Igboho as most unfortunate, demeaning, and treacherous for someone of the legal caliber of Falana to support the Fulani headsmen bandit, wreaking havoc ranging from kidnapping, rape, mass destruction, killing, and invasion of farmland and community at will at the detriment of the victims' fundamental human rights. The group said headers who destroy farmland, kill farmers, and rape women are not real Nigerians and asked the Nigerian Immigration Service to wake up to its duty. Indeed, Falana failed to sue the killer headsmen, mostly whose identity are deceitfully more visible as Fulanis rather than real Nigerian, it said. While those that invade farmland most times are Fulani foreign fighters from Mali, Sudan, Niger, Libya, to mention a few, hence the Nigeria Immigration Service need to wake up to her responsibility urgently. We are not surprised to see the crafty statement from some of the so-called enemies of the Yoruba people and Nigeria at large. We Yorubas are the most accommodating ethnic race in Nigeria. We love everyone, including Hausa, Fulani, Igbo, Efik, Ijaws, to mention a few, and they all can attest to that peaceful habitation and successes. The group said it would not withdraw its support for Igboho and that it would also stand by him if taken to court. We reiterate our support for Igboho and other like minds that for any legal action against him or others, we prepare to raise 100 sons and senior lawyers of erudite qualities to defend Yoruba interests at the court. Those were the words of IAYL, a Yoruba group which is out to defend the interests of the Yorubas and also anyone who stands as a leader to fight against negative invasion of their land. Talking about Abimo, Apapa, Yoruba, Lagbaye. And I want us to look at this issue because the truth is, my people say that when you're talking to the chick, you also talk to the hawk. I think the people that their case should be most addressed are the Fulanis. Because if you take stock of what they have done thus far in Yoruba land and the caliber of people they have killed thus far, the caliber of kidnap, the people that they have raped, you will know that what Sunday Igboho did is a tip of the iceberg compared to what they have done. Who is he even, Sunday Igboho, the people that they chased, the people that they fought with, who are they when you look at Nigeria as a nation? Who are these people? They are people whose economic value is very tiny compared to some of those whom they have killed, compared to some of those whom they have maimed, compared to some of those whom they have raped and destroyed their lives. Let's be rational here. If you're talking about seeking redress in respect to your constitutional right, I feel that he would have come up with such saying early enough, especially when the likes of one doctor, the Yoruba doctor, was killed. Aborode was killed. That is the main person that would have triggered the Yorubas to stand to their feet because let's tell ourselves the truth. In the eyes of the law, we are all equal, but let's be so frank. Economically, some are more equal than some. Let's be real to ourselves. When we talk about that gentleman that was killed by Fulani headsmen, you look at his economic value. Look at what he stands for. Look at what he represents. You will know that that guy is worth more than 100 Fulani men who are going around, taking care of their cows. Imagine someone who showed up and was able to change the story of so many Yoruba people. He came in, brought in, used his investment knowledge that he came with from abroad, helped to fix the economy of his own people, went into large-scale farming, commercial farming, which ended up producing employment for the people. They killed that guy just like that. Femi Falana never bothered to say much about it. Never even had to sue them to court for doing such a thing, just to prove that he is really a legal luminary. He didn't bother to do all of that. But all of a sudden, he is now trying to tell the Fulanis to go ahead. What are you trying? I mean, this country sometimes, I'm so shocked and I don't know. If you're trying to support them, how about the people that they trample on their fundamental human right and even their ethnic right, their land right, they trample on it and nobody could bring them to book. Let's be real to ourselves. What Igboho has done is not compared to what these guys have done thus far. A young man who was a rescued, kidnapped victim from these guys on Benin Road, Benin Express way. He said they kidnapped him. By the time he went into their bushes, they were actually Fulanis. By the time they went into the bushes, they noticed corpses of Nigeria littered everywhere. You've not lifted up your voice to speak against such, and even came to drag anybody out who came to identify themselves with these people. And you are now busy trying to encourage them to take up laws, seek redress in the law court, and all of that. Let's try to be reasonable, please. Let's try to be reasonable. What are we saying, for God's sake? These guys have done enough in this country. I listened to one of them on one of the television stations. And when he was asked about, I think there was a particular issue that came up fairly recently, and I think the government, the intention was to support them financially in what they are doing. And by the time they asked them, now that we are noticing that most people who are not Nigerian, Fulanis who are not Nigerians, they are entering into the country, what will be the necessary step that will be taken so that we can identify the Fulanis who are Nigerians and those who are not? What did the man say? He said that for Fulanis, they don't understand the issue of countries and all of that. As that a Fulani is a Fulani, they don't have a particular country that they come from. Wherever they find themselves, they are from that place. So which therefore means if there is any country that is willing to take up their burden or to do anything reasonable, give them financial support, all of them would decamp from wherever they are and they will come into that place. And before you know, they will take over that country and call that country their own. God, there is no place for anybody to conquer now. Nigeria has gone past the 16th century that you will use your strength to secure anything. Just to show you that if you must exist with these guys, they must be written out laws, just like what Ondo State Governor has done. Thumbs up to him. I celebrate that man. Personally, I didn't believe that the governor of Ondo can be the way he is, Akeredolu. Akeredolu stood his ground because he is tired of what has been happening to his people. Oga, I give you 100% salute. That man stood his ground until they have to sit on the drawing board and he said, this I won't permit in my land. This I won't permit in my land. Night grazing, there is nothing like that. You must register. You must have a license to operate. Good. Not for somebody to come and be blabbing around and be saying things that hurts the heart real good. Now, the big question I always ask is, how about if it was your child that was murdered just like that? Possibly those will be the utterance you will give right now. I'd like to leave it there. Please just go to our comment section.